The range of erectile dysfunction treatments out there can feel confusing. There's so much information, many things promising to deliver the very best results. So in this video, I'm going to get into 8 of the top erectile dysfunction treatments. I'll be covering the upsides, the downsides, so that ultimately you can make an informed choice of what feels like the right option for you to get this sorted. First of all, if you find this video helpful, in the bottom right hand corner you will see a button that says subscribe. Click on that button so that you can get the very latest brand new tools and tips as I share them. Number 1, shockwave treatment. Shockwave treatment. How does this work? Well, it's as it sounds. There are shockwaves, electrical shockwaves that are projected into the penis. So let's start with the upsides of this. Minimal side effects compared to other types of medical treatments that exist. And secondly, early studies, this is a newer type of technology, but early studies show more promising longer term benefits. Downsides, you can imagine pain. There's a bit of pain that is involved with this. And secondly, varying success levels. A fairly large number of guys that don't see the level of success that they anticipated. So that's the first one, electrical shockwave treatment. Number 2, gels. So this is also a fairly newer thing on the market. Upsides is, of course, it's non-invasive and pretty easy to use, right? Putting the gel on, pretty simple. We're used to doing that with lube. But the downsides, allergic reactions, either with ourselves or with our partner. This gel obviously contains certain chemicals that are needed to be able to stimulate an erection, and they can cause adverse reactions. Secondly, is that the chemicals are absorbed into the bloodstream, and therefore it can produce some of the similar side effects to one of the other things we're coming on to, pills. Side effects like headaches, feeling sick, back pain, etc. They are the downsides of these gels. Third, mindset. I feel like this one, the mindset one, looked like two worms talking to each other. The upsides here, this is the long-term fix. When we know that performance anxiety or erection problems, erectile dysfunction is in the mind, not in the body, we have to fix it in the mind. We have to get things sorted in the mind. Another upside is, I believe this is the option that leads to feeling confident in the bedroom again. It does not come with medical side effects, and we're also able to feel ourselves in the moment having sex. The downsides, I have to be fair with this, okay, and talk about the downsides as I am with each one of these options that I'm going through. So, number 1, whether it's a coach like myself, whether it's a therapist, somebody that you go to see may not always truly understand this, especially if they haven't gone through it themselves. So taking time to research and make sure you choose the right person is important. Secondly, cost accessibility. This is usually working one-to-one with somebody or doing some kind of program that they have. It's not accessible in terms of cost to everybody. This is a good time, before we carry on with the rest, for me to introduce the E.D Quiz. If you are experiencing erection problems or performance anxiety and you feel like you've tried things but you're frustrated because you're not seeing the results that you want, I get it. The first place is to understand, is this medical or is it mindset? To do that, I've developed a free quiz that you can do right now. It's called the E.D Quiz. It's 10 yes or no, very simple questions. And this will show you your score and then also exactly what's going on so we can get to the bottom of this and get it sorted. If that sounds good to you, below in the comments you will see the link to the E.D Quiz. When you click on that link, it will take you straight to the page where you can answer those 10 yes or no questions. Okay, let's carry on with number 4, pills. So this is the one that we're most familiar with. Upsides of this, in terms of medical intervention, which pills includes, is non-invasive. Okay, this option is non-invasive. By the way, pills, this also includes alternative pills, things like supplements, for example, that we see. Second upside is that they're easy to use. Okay, there's no difficulty, it's just taking some pills. Downsides, they don't always work. Many of the guys that I speak to, especially when this is mindset, pills do not do the job. We actually find that with many of these medical options, when mindset is the challenge, the medical options cannot replace the bit that needs to be addressed in the mindset. Second is side effects. So whether that is headache, whether it's feeling sick, whether it is vision changes. Some guys that I've spoken to, vision changes comes as part of this, as a side effect. Back pain, there are some real serious side effects to consider before continuously taking pills. Number 5, pumps. I'm sure you'll be familiar with these from online, if not from Austin Powers. Upsides, non-invasive. Again, this is another medical intervention that's non-invasive and lower side effects, okay, because we're not putting anything into our body. The downsides, there is a lot of faffing around with this one. So I want you to imagine before it comes to a moment of intimacy that you have to just hold on a second. I need to just go and do something in the other room, that we're pumping up our dick. And then it's not just the pump, it's also this ring as well, like a cock ring basically, but a bit of a tighter one to then keep the blood, trap the blood in our dick. So that's quite a lot of effort and work that we have to go to kind of disrupt the flow, right? So that's the first one. Second downside is actual side effects that can happen from this, which is numbness over time of using it too much, or also it has a potential for injury if the vacuum that's created becomes too tight or we pump too much. It has the potential for causing serious injury to our dick over the long term, which of course we want to avoid that. Number 6, injections. So between this and pills, this is actually what many porn stars use. Upsides of injections, it does have a higher success rate compared to other medical interventions that are on the market. Second is that they work fast. Why? Because they're injected directly into that area, so it doesn't have to go through the body. It's a direct hit to that particular area. The downsides, I'm sure, aside from the fact that we're having to put a needle into our dick, which is quite intense, there's pain that can come with this. The other downside is scar tissue that can build up over time. Doesn't sound great, right? These are things ideally that we want to avoid. Number 7, testosterone replacement therapy, TRT. Just want to caveat this one is only really available if we find that we have low testosterone levels, okay? But if we do have low testosterone levels, this is a good option. Yes, for erections, but also for our general sexual function, which is the second upside, is that we can expect an increased sex desire with TRT if we've had low testosterone levels in the past. Downsides of this one, sleep disorders are associated with this, and also the risk increasing of blood clots and breast tissue enlargement. And what I mean by breast tissue enlargement is because more estrogen can be released because we're changing our hormonal balance within our body, and when more estrogen is released, it can lead to breast tissue enlargement. And finally, number 8. Now this one is the most serious one. It is the one that I've put last on the list intentionally. It is the absolute last thing we'd want to resort to, and that is a penile implant. Upsides of this: reliable. We have a pump literally surgically implanted within our penis in this scenario, so the reliability factor is there. Second is that it's long lasting, okay? Once this operation is done, it lasts for quite some time. The downsides, of course, the risk of surgery is one. The fact that this is irreversible is another. And then the third one is penile shortening, which has been associated with some of these surgeries, is a reduction in the dick size. This one, I would absolutely say, is a last case scenario, particularly because of the fact that this is irreversible. As I said earlier on, if this is a mindset thing, most of these medical interventions are just temporary. We're plastering over the cracks. If we really want to get to the bottom of what's going on and get it sorted, this is the place where we have to do that. I mentioned the ED quiz. I would love to see you there. The link is in the comments below, but also I'd love to hear from you on what have you tried? What results have you found? Are there any other alternative things that you've tried outside of what I've mentioned today? Comment that below and I will do my very best to reply to you as quickly as I can.